the way that I walk, I'm a little bow-legged, my mouth's full of jaw. Legs are shaky and my knees are weak. Dust me off, I'll try again next week. Rodeo is what I do. If I hang on tight and make a buck or two, it's what I do. Let's ride!
Good evening and welcome to the legendary Gold Coast Hotel and Casino and National Finals Tonight. Brought to you in part by Devil's Cut, Jim Beam, Red Stag, Coors, Pendleton, Boot Barn, Cooper Tires, Ram Rodeo, Justin Boots, Prefer, Golden Tiger Liniment, the National Cowboy Museum, Good Ride, Wrangler, J.W. Brooks Hats, Montana Silversmiths, Pepsi, and Boyd Gaming. National Finals tonight with 8-time world champion bull rider Donnie Gay, 8-time world champion cowboy Joe Beaver, and the men and women of the NFR. Sit back, relax, and enjoy National Finals tonight. And now, here's your host, award-winning television personality, Mr. Dan Miller.
Hi, everyone. Man, what a good-looking crowd this is, huh? What a good-looking bunch. Jim Gay is over there. Hello, Jim. How are you doing here this evening? Welcome to National Finals tonight. This is our fourth night, and did you go to the rodeo tonight? Isn't this the best place to be? Las Vegas, Nevada, coming up on Christmas time, and it's like the world's biggest family reunion, isn't it? We're so glad to have you with us, and I'll tell you up front, it is chaos backstage. I'm not sure who's here or who's coming out, but I guarantee you it will not be boring, and so we're glad to have you with us. Let's get this thing started because we've got a lot to do tonight. I'm going to bring out the two stars of our shows, and the first guy, I call him a star because that's what he asked me to do. He's an 8-time world champion bull rider, the best ever. My best buddy, Donnie Gay's in the house. Would you welcome Donnie Hay? Yes, sir.
All right.
How are you?
I'm good. Ready to have a little fun. It's not Saturday, but you know what? It's another WNFR night.
Look at this crowd. This is outstanding. Yes, it's a great rodeo, and I told him we've got a lot to do tonight, so we should get Joe out here and get after it, should we?
I was going to say, I hope you were inviting him and not telling me to be quiet.
No, heavens, no. I know better than that. Yeah. Let's bring out the other star of our show, the other co-host here. He also is an 8-time world champion and just an outstanding guy. Great ambassador for the sport. Would you welcome Joe Beaver's in the house tonight. Joseph?
Big Joe.
Hi, guys.
How are you?
Good, and you don't want this show with just him.
No.
Big 8,
He
little
needs
8.
help. Yep.
Yeah, big 8, little 8.
Big problem, little problem right here, boy.
16 world titles before him. That's pretty darn impressive,
And they still try to tell us how to rope and ride. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Dispute our word and everything.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
all right. Let me tell you, during the course of the show tonight, if you would like to participate, especially if you'd like to text a question up to us, here's how you do that. You get your phone, and there's the number right there, 702-582-5638.
Finally did it right.
Yeah, Donnie, that makes him happy. It's, what does that stand for? Never mind. 582-5638.
Luck NFT.
Luck NFT.
You know what?
That's
I think
it.
that's one reason people can't spell anymore texting. You can't even get KFC and out of Kentucky Fried Chicken no more. That's his problem. Because texting, if you ever text Donnie, you won't get Luck NFT. You might get something different. But if he's doing the texting, it ain't good because he can't spell at all. Not on a phone. Now, you might can spell elsewhere, but a phone, he ain't caught up yet.
Too little.
Yeah. Also, we are going out on across YouTube and things tonight. And if you get home tomorrow and want to watch your show and see if you can see yourself, it'll be on YouTube. But I do want to tell you this. We have such great prizes to give away from our sponsors tonight. And what we need you to do is stay after we say goodbye to the YouTube and the television crowd and stay with us because we have great prizes. Yep, another guitar back there. Is that George Strait that signed that one? We'll find out who that is. So, gentlemen, let's get
If it's not, he can be a doctor.
We can adjust that and make it look like George Strait.
It might be better. It might be Donnie's signature.
Oh, no.
Ask him.
Could you text that? It's Dirks Bentley. That's who that is on there tonight. They just told me
I couldn't
back
have texted that.
there. Yeah. If you were at the rodeo tonight, you didn't watch it live on GAC. And boy, we are thrilled with this partnership with GAC to be on there live and just doing terrific numbers with them. But if you were at the rodeo, you didn't see these two handsome fellows right here doing that live during the telecast tonight. But what we've done is put together a highlight package of what happened in round number 4, all the winners, and they're going to do it for you live. That's why they make the big bucks. Here we go. Let's start off, Donnie, with the bareback riding, if we've got it loaded up back there, fellas.
All right, well, let's see. That's not the bareback riding.
No, that's a nice shot of the empty arena. So while they get that, but doesn't it look good?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Here we go. They're ready now. Nope.
No.
Still not the bareback riding.
We're not even talking about bareback racing right there.
That's just wishful thinking on their part.
Let me, Joe, let's do this. Let's do a question. Somebody's texted one in while they re-rack that back there. Joe Beaver, do you think the timed event level of competition at the WNFR was better when the regular season ended October 31st instead of the 30th? But explain that before you answer.
Now, the year used to end October 31st. That was the last rodeo of the year. We rodeoed all the way through October 31st, and then the finals, you had about a month off, and the national finals started. Do I think the competition has changed? I don't think that's a reason. But do I like the idea of it going through the 31st? You bet. I think a year is a year, and I think if you rodeo all the way through, it's more chance to win more money, bigger rodeos. The end of the year rodeos used to be the best ones. Personally, I like San Francisco. It was the last one of the year. Slack was at 12 midnight. Short go was at 10 o'clock at night. You had never seen so many guys so nervous and so scared and just out of their head as you had to. You've been to the midnight slack at San Francisco. It was an awesome place to be because we either had them made and was enjoying watching everybody else throw up and be sick, or you were there for your blood and guts because it was the last rodeo of the year and you had to win at it. I don't think it affects the competition, but I liked it when it went all year.
Okay, very good. Guys, are we ready back there for the highlight? Yes, indeed.
Okay.
The bareback. Let's go through the winning round 4, Donnie, starting with the bareback riding.
Okay, well, you know what? In the bareback riding, it just sounds like a broken record. But Casey Field, okay, you know, he's going to get a number of buckles in this, but you watch the bareback riding. The nice pen of horses out tonight. Cavalcade, this bucking horse that Casey's riding, makes an absolute picture-perfect bareback ride. Watch this and watch both feet coming back to the rigging, setting his feet. He's beating the horse back to the ground. Check this out. This guy right here is absolutely on fire riding bucking horses. You can't ride a bareback horse any better than that, and I've said that 2 or 3 times this week.
In the steer wrestling, Luke Branquino, you know, he come in hurt first time ever. Watch the difference tonight when he catches this steer. Left leg is bent, right leg is stuck out like it's supposed to be on his heel, where he can slide that steer, get his head over this hip, and shoot him. Right here, the first 2 rounds, he was scared of that right knee. He's got a little injury in his right knee. But tonight, the head catch, and he sets his feet. In other words, he doesn't bend his knees and stay buckled up. In the previous go-rounds, that's what he's been doing. Tonight, he run that right leg out, run that big hip under him, and let him have it 3.3, 1 to go around. He's not finished for a world championship just because he's got 1 no time. He's still after him. And then comes it ain't near big a booty shovel as it used to be. Lost 40 pounds.
Lost 40 pounds, yeah.
In the team roping, Dustin Bird, Paul Eves, first-timers to the NFR. They make a great run tonight. What made this run, Paul Eves, when he heeled that steer, his gray horse is already on separation. When the ropes are tight, you get a better face. The other night, they should have won a go-around. Same run they made the other night. But when Dustin Bird went to face, Paul wasn't as tight and hard on the end of that rope. That bay mare started around. See how she finishes looking down the rope? The other night she was looking in the crowd, didn't get flagged.
In the saddle bronc riding, well, it's the story of the Wright brothers so far. You know, Justin McKee said earlier tonight, he said if the Wrights keep winning, they're just going to have to quit calling them Jake and Cody and Jesse. They're just going to have to number the guys. 90 points in the saddle bronc riding, first 90 we've seen at this year's NFR. And this because it's a tough pen of horses. Wild Bill is doing what he does. He's jumping and kicking, but watch him set his feet. Tough bronc, spurring over the rein every jump. And that's just saddle bronc riding. That's why they call it the classic event of rodeo.
Tough Cooper, he's grown up. He's a big, strong kid. I've said it all week. He's roping the next shark, but what's winning first for him is right there. See how he catches that calf in midair? He never lets him hit the ground. He bobbles his string and ties him in 7-8. But 2 things. He runs at the barrier. See him pull right there? Ooh, he barely gets out. Yeah, they said, oh, he barely got out, and he barely got him strung. But when you flank strong like that and you take chances at the barrier, you're going to give yourself a chance to win a gold buckle. Nobody comes out here to win 3rd place. Tough Cooper, he's knocking on Justin Moss's door, and he's about to kick it in.
probably the most exciting event at the rodeo so far, Joe. What do you think about this barrel racing? We've seen Mary Walker win the first 3 go-rounds. She hit her barrel tonight. Sherry Servey says, okay, well, you know what? This little Palomino horse can really run, and she's just staying in there consistent, got all the barrels up. She's going to be tough. World Championship race in a barrel race is going to be tight.
She's won one before and on different horses, so it's not like it's nothing new for Sherry Servey. You know what champions do when you get a chance to move up, you move up. You move up,
and, you know, she rides so good. The horsemanship might not be the best horse here. It might be the 3rd best horse here. But you know what? She's a great horseman, and really can handle it. I tell you what, she's outstanding. Bull riding tonight was ugly. Ugly. Clayton Savage, round to the left. He's got a bull that is supposed to stay right there and keep spinning. Watch this. He jumps out of it. He's in trouble. Hang in there. You know, don't worry about the form. Get the horn. Hangs up. Look at Dusty Tuckness again. Right there. The Staybill bullfighters have been just outstanding. But you watch Clayton Savage. I mean, this bull's got a wicked turn. This is the good part. Now, comes around. He's thinking, okay, no problem. Getting on the end of his arm. Now it's starting to be bad. This is the bad part. You got to hang on. You've almost made the whistle. And this is the ugly part. You're out of control, but you win first place and another $18,000.
Because he didn't look out and he didn't give up.
He didn't let go. And, you know, when you buck off and you hang and drag or you land on your back, that's about all you can do.
But what do you hate worse than anything? A man that lands on his feet and looking out and smiling. Donnie doesn't like that in the bull ride.
When they land
because
where they're looking,
money.
yeah, that's
you don't
right.
win money doing that.
You know, and the really good thing is I was so glad that Artie Meyer made the whistle tonight. You know, I mean, he cut his hand in that first go-round, had 10 stitches in his riding hand, having to take that wrap over it. You know, it's been a huge distraction.
It's not like that's a mutton busting with your hand cut.
That's right. He had a nice bull, but that's nice, relatively speaking.
Okay. Gentlemen, give him a hand for doing that live for you, will you? Good job, you guys. I'm going to tell you, Jason, we're going to pass on this rec package. We're going to pass on this. We have a... Oh, boy. We were just talking about this back. It's good Carl's here tonight. Here's a question that was texted into us. It's just titled The Judges.
Judges, who selects them?
What criteria is used to select them? How are they held accountable? And how are they evaluated?
Okay,
well,
they're
gentlemen,
not held accountable.
At all. The criteria
and
is...
I have no idea who in the heck evaluates them.
The criteria is if their glasses aren't thicker than a Coke bottle, they're number ones. They go by feel. You want to keep going?
Oh, man.
You know,
they were just talking about
the judging is the hardest job in rodeo. It really is. If you've ever flagged or judged, marked bulls, flagged bull logging, it is a hard job. But they aren't forced into that job. They pick that job. So if you pick a job like that, you're going to have to be pretty sharp or take a lot of ass eatings. It's going to come. It's a bottom line. And they fine you when you do it. So they're making, you know, both ways on the top. Is their job hard? You bet. But what I've said for the last 3-4 years, nobody makes them take that job. They take a job that out here it decides thousands of dollars, but between 1 point on a scorecard and flagging a guy out or giving him his time, they pick that job. It's the hardest job in rodeo, but they got to be accountable for it. Would instant replay help everywhere in the world? No, but it might help right here.
Yeah. You know, I probably have been uglier and harder on judges than maybe anybody, you know, on the
maybe?
right. Well, maybe. You know, I mean, like if I was 90 points, I'd walk by and, you know, and give them an ugly look because I thought I should have been 91. You know, I just was like that. And that probably wasn't correct. I shouldn't have done that probably, but I did. They got a horrible job. They do take it, and seriously, they're evaluated all year long in the judging program through the PRCA, and then they're selected. I still don't know how in the hell they're selected. You know, but I mean, you got world champion bull riders out there, you know, judging the bronc riding and not the bull riding, and I don't understand that and never will. But sometime I'll get to talk to the guy that I'll ask how come.
But
surprise.
Is it a good system? Yes.
Yes.
And is it controlled, and evaluated? Yes, it is. And are they getting better every day? I think they are getting better every day because they are held accountable for more than they were 15
No way
years
to
ago.
make it perfect, because what you're really asking them to do is give their opinion, whether you like it or not. But I will say this, in the PRCA, it's the only association in the world that the judges, besides the NFL maybe, the judges actually know the rule book inside out, and they enforce the rule book, which is basically about all you can ask them to do, other than their opinion.
Okay, good. Thanks for that question. We appreciate it. As I mentioned to you, we have a lot to get to tonight, so let's get to it. Our first guest, we've been trying to get her out here literally for the first 3 performances.
Only person.
She's been a little busy.
Yeah, we get 14, any of the 14 out of the 15 in every event. Unless you win first.
Unless you win first.
She's finally here.
And you know what she told Joe tonight? She said, I don't care. If I win again, I'm still coming out tonight. But we are honored to have her here. She's won the first 3 rounds, but tonight she is with us. Mary Walker from the Barrel Racing Ladies is here tonight.
You bet.
Oh, and the new name, Miss Mary.
It's with respect.
We are so glad to have you here because Donnie and I need a loan is what it is, and we figure you're already
and
doing
you're close.
Well,
you're close.
Y'all do know Byron, don't you? You won't get loans.
Also, my banker flew in today, so that's really good.
It's all good. How exciting.
Is he petting your horse?
He probably would have tonight if he hadn't hit a barrel.
It has been so exciting. And Mary, we've been talking about you every night, even though you couldn't come out. And Donnie just he said, that's the best horse in this deal right now. Tell us about this horse and the story behind that, Mary.
Latte is a 8-year-old quarter horse bay gelding. And he's out of a stud called Dashford Perks out of a mare called Curiosity Corners, which goes back actually to Joe Ack and Joe Reed, which were great barrel horses. And Latte, I've had him since 2011, May. And then in June 9th, he fell on me. And I had a crushed pelvis and fractured vertebrae in my back. And so he got 6 months off. And in January of this year, we started our journey trying to get here to the NFR, and we've made it.
You kind of skipped, yeah.
Yeah, go right on.
Yeah, you kind of... She kind of skipped over that he fell on me deal because it was, and you kind of went through the bones there, but Joe, you know that.
Yeah, it wasn't just a fall on me deal. It was at Crosby, Texas, June of last year, and, he smashed her is what he did. And, if you've ever ridden anything, it's pretty important to be able to spread your legs and sit on something. And if you've ever had a pelvic injury, it's impossible to come back and just bounce around and be happy. I got a picture. When did I get the pictures from Byron? When you were riding? First riding, remember he was leading you on a paint horse?
He was leading me.
Byron sent me pictures and said, well, here's our first day back to the trail to the NFR. And honestly, you weren't out of a wheelchair hardly, were you?
No, well, yes, I was. I had just gotten out of the wheelchair onto a walker. And we went down to the barn, and I have a great paint horse, which I'm riding in the Grand Entry, if anybody's seen him. And I said, I'm getting back on. And he said, you're crazy. And I said, no, I got to do it. And I did. And actually, him getting me up on the horse, he had to push me up on the horse. I rode for 10 minutes, got scared, and I said, I'm ready to get off. And then we didn't know how to get me off. So he actually had me go up next to the fence, and he pulled the horse out from underneath me, and I had someone else to catch me.
I do that now.
It was pretty entertaining, But
when was that, though? That wasn't that long ago.
No, that was probably, I'm going to say October of 2011.
Yeah, just barely over a year ago.
Yes.
Is what it was. I got these pictures, and then the next thing I know, this guy that used to drive for me, work for me, Buckwheat, he's calling me from Guyman, and she's winning Guyman. Then he calls me from here, and she's winning here. And then that same horse people that run 313s here, one Cheyenne, Wyoming, the long go, the short go, and the average. And if you ever seen Cheyenne, Wyoming, the Thomas and Mack will fit in about 10 times. It's huge. So this horse is, you and this horse are special.
He's very special to me. He's probably one of the reasons I'm up and going because, well, this is kind of funny too. I was sitting in the wheelchair and I thought, what am I going to do? Do I sell the horse or what do I do?
Is this not cool? I mean, she goes from sitting in the wheelchair thinking about selling her horse to winning the first 3 go-rounds at this year's WNFR. How about, yeah, I mean, this is just awesome.
It is. It's been an amazing ride. And, I sat there and looked at him and I said, you get back on and do something, if it's right or wrong.
I mean, I'm just thinking, how tough is she? I mean, to do all of this and be married to Byron Walker, what a woman.
Hey, just imagine this. I mean, and you've been hurt, Donnie, but if you've ever really been hurt, I mean, I didn't have any near what she had. I broke my leg off the first 2 steers that I ran after that. When my head horse started to turn, I just held him up like a scared little girl and ran him to the back end. And she's got to make that turn every day. The same way that crushed her pelvis, she makes it going Mach 10 wide open and makes the finals, wins 3 rounds. This lady's tougher than you can imagine.
This horse is broke. Did you take your victory lap on him?
I did. I didn't know if you noticed or not, but I did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sitting there going, she didn't get on the flag horse that everybody else has to use. You got a broke horse that you can actually ride. That is fun. I mean, this horse is phenomenal. And I said, 3 years ago, the first time we saw Lindsey Sears, and Martha was the best horse. And I'm just sitting here watching the barrel race, and Latte is the best horse.
Yeah, you said that here 2 nights ago. We highlighted it, of course, because you won around again. And that's the best horse here.
And tell them the scary part of it for the rest of the girls. He hasn't made the run that he can make, has he?
Well, I hate to say that because I've won 3 rounds, you would think. But no, Latte hadn't even come close to his.
That's what I thought.
We've made mistakes in every run we've had, which it's paid us, and I'm so thankful, to have won what we've won. But no, he hadn't put on a show yet. And, to take the victory lap on him, I did it at Ellensburg. And this is kind of funny because when I got to the top after watching Patrick getting bucked off in the introductions, I kind of asked the guy. I said, "I think I'll just ride my own horse tonight." So,
well, the flag girl that got the buck out of him, so Patrick's safe. He can ride that horse again.
that was awesome.
We keep talking about this horse, Mary. Let's take a look at Latte here. And this is from one of your winning rounds here, but you can see it on this monitor right here if you guys have got it back there. And this is part of the 3 wins that she's had so far. Yeah, that's not it.
No.
But by golly, it looks good.
We know they got it back there, guys.
Yeah, because we've seen it 100 times.
It was the bareback tape that what you need now, the one the bareback ride.
While they're getting that queued up there, Mary, I want to ask you the competition in this thing, and Donnie and I talked about it today. It's unbelievable. It's the first 4 places is a blink of an eye. A blink of an eye in the difference in this. And I'm sure it's got to be pretty competitive behind the chutes, isn't it? Everybody wants this so badly.
It is very competitive, and the horse flesh that's out there right now is amazing. And I had never been around these world champions and these horses, the Marthas and the Stingrays, and to actually get up close to them and look at them, they're very amazing animals. And it's great. It's great that they're out there.
We could tell that it intimidated you a whole lot. I mean, you just smoked them in the first 3 rounds. I don't know if they'll be able to get that.
Well, when you guys get it, Jason, just run it. What I wanted to ask for a lot of people, Donnie, and for me, and my little girl has her favorite horse. But when you're talking money for these horses, let's talk about it now. Here's Latte.
I think that was last night. Great run, yeah. And he, everybody says he looks like he's loping. He looks like he's just not going anywhere. But underneath, he feels like a powerhouse.
He looks like he would be extremely strong, and that's why when you started back riding, I'm thinking, man, how is that going to work, all year long, let alone obviously worked real good, and we're all really glad. But that horse, you've been on a lot of barrel horses before, but is he as strong as he looks like to me?
He is very strong.
I mean, like when he turns, you got to be hanging on.
I got to. Well, and you talk about that. Did you remember Arcadia, Florida?
I do. That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
I was in Arcadia, Florida, and that was in February.
In March.
March.
Yeah,
March.
Early March.
And I still didn't have all my strength back. And it's a great big huge pen. And Latte runs in there and smokes the first. I get to the second and I look like the monkey on the dog, and I went forward, and Terry Starnes, the announcer, goes, "Sit back up and you're okay." And I won the rodeo by half a second.
A half a second. I'm talking about, it was 2 hands down and nearly dust, except for she got to go get first place check. Yeah.
Outstanding. Let me just finish quickly, because some people, they ask me all the time, what do barrel horses cost? Nowadays?
Barrel horses, and then there's horses like that.
Well,
that's 2 different subjects entirely.
In general, Joe, then.
If you want one that's going to go in and have a chance to be in the top 40, top 30 girls, he's going to cost between $50,000 and $150,000. And horses like this are going to cost $500,000 to $1.5 million.
Seriously?
I have a client.
Why do you think they needed a defibrillator up there with Byron sitting in the grandstands every night?
Hey, I have a client in Brazil that will give $1 million if I could call him up and say, this horse is at the finals and will make it if your daughter can just hang on. He would give $1 million for that for his daughter.
Well, hopefully she can hang on, because I can. It's an amazing industry of the price of the barrel horses now, the great ones.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? And you know this because we talked about this earlier. That's the toughest event in rodeo. That is the hardest event in rodeo to win at, because you don't get there and there's 20 entered. There's 120.
That's right.
There's 20 bareback riders, 40 teams, 60 calf ropers, 80 bull loggers, whatever, 50 bull riders. You go to the barrel race, they run slack for 8 hours. At the big rodeos, they get 100, 150 barrel racers, and they drag every 10, so the ground changes. And then if it's too wet or if it's too dry or if it's outdoor pen, it changes. If your horse is hauled on it, whatever. That's the hardest event to win at in rodeo.
Easiest event to put on, though. I mean, and it's a great event. Fan favorites. You don't have to feed them suckers. You don't have the barrels I'm talking about. You don't have to feed and water them. All you get, somebody else will, they want to put them in their truck, put them out there and set them out. That's all you do. All you watch the barrel race.
Well, now, Donnie, I disagree, because you have to listen to the griping.
That doesn't bother me at all.
How long you and Terry been married?
I argue back, but you never win. That's okay.
No, when it's winning,
I never
you never
stop
win.
either.
No, it's been an amazing year, and I've enjoyed it so much. And after last year and the tragedies we had in our life, Joe and I both,
yes.
And sometimes there's things that come out of a bad situation, or with my fall or the loss of my son. So, this year's been amazing, and it's been very exciting.
It's exciting for you, and it's exciting for us to watch you and share it with you. And we're so glad you came tonight, Mary. And we wish you the best the rest of the rounds coming up, Joe.
Yeah, and it's not over. And you be sure and look, I told you 11 o'clock you'd be gone.
You're great. You're great.
Good?
You're so good.
This is Mary Walker. Give her a hand, will you please?
Thank you. Isn't that fun? That's the difference. That's the difference of rodeo and any other major sport in the world. I mean, because that's part of the family.
It's just outstanding.
Well, and that's the difference here. You can come here and hear the real stuff. You can hear the person, know the person, hear the real story, and we don't have to stop and we don't get checked. We can talk like we want here. This is our show.
Well said. Well said. And we've got a lot of people yet to get out here for you, so let's do that. We've got a couple of young bull riders, Donnie, that I want to bring out here. These young men, gosh, their faces, these are young men, but great bull riders. And so let's get them out here, and Donnie can talk about them. We've got Beau Shroeder and Cody Teel. They're both in the house tonight. Would you welcome these young men? Good-looking young
Come on
rascals.
out. Number one man, Cody Teel, Beau Shroeder. Whenever somebody from Wyoming is on the show, Dan's always in, and they're from Wyoming. Well, these guys are from Texas. Yeah.
Say that one more time. Where?
Texas.
Thank you.
Welcome, gentlemen. It's good to have you here this evening. And I can tell by the look on your faces you're more scared of being here than being on bulls. I can tell, huh?
Yeah, I was glad to be here. You know, it's world famous National Finals Tonight show. Just happy to be here right now to get the invite. It's world famous.
He just let you know he ain't scared to be here.
Just for the record, I'm terrified.
Oh, boy. Okay, Cody, you came into the NFR number one.
Number one.
Your competitor that's right behind you, you know, behind now, there's the guy that's, where are you at? You're about sixth in the standings, I think, and Trey Benton the third. He's over there. He's third. J.W. Harris, the three-time world champion, he's second. After the first performance, you made the whistle. You bull didn't buck like you're supposed to, but you made the whistle, and that's big, first NFR. J.W. Harris, they're all talking about him winning number 4. You're wanting to win number 1, and he wins the round. Did that change your thinking at all?
Not at all. I didn't really pay any attention at all. I knew he won the round and all, but even though I was like 74 points in my head, I felt like I was 90. Just get that first bull knocked out, huge relief. But the same night, more relief that I got that one knocked out. But I knew the job isn't done yet. But I'm handling it just like I wanted to. I had a game plan coming in here, taking it one bull at a time, going into every night like it's a different rodeo. And but not ever being here before, you really don't know how you're going to handle it. You try to wrap your mind around what you're going to do. But to actually be here and following through with the game plan just really feels good, and got the confidence and the momentum, and just hope to keep going with it.
What about you, Beau? What mindset? I mean, world title, world championship, or relief that you got here? This is the first real full year that you actually didn't have a cast on somewhere.
Yeah, I broke my leg 3 times, my right one, and it's just part of it, I guess. And I went to a bunch of rodeos this year, and I just come in with the same mindset of went to a bunch, and it's just 10 more rodeos. Got to ride just like you did all year long.
Well, you two guys, both first time to the NFR. There's 2 guys that's rode 3 of 4 bulls. That's these 2 guys. Y'all put your hands together for that. That's number 1. But number 2 that's big in my mind is you've done that, coming in the lead, and trust me, when you're in the lead for the World Championship, the media room is about 400 yards from the bull rider locker room, and they got 3 or 4 people hired coming down, and they're constantly pulling on these guys, and they're talking about, are you planning on winning the world? Are you scared of J.W. Harris? And all of these kind of questions. And to be the 2 guys that's rode 3 out of 4, and not the reigning world champion Shane Proctor, he's rode 1 out of 4. J.W. is 2 for 4. Y'all are 3 for 4. This week is shaping up to be fun, because it seems like nobody in the locker room has kind of give in. They know there's still 6 more rodeos to go, and win darn near 100,000. What are y'all feeling? Just that feeling, the swagger. Where are you thinking?
At this point, I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of carrying that same mindset I've had all year. Whether you ride 5 in a row throughout the year or you buck all 5, you got to stay pretty level-headed in this sport, because and just for instance, the first 2 rounds I drew 2 bulls that weren't NFR type bulls, but that's rodeo, and that's just kind of an example of what we deal with all year. You got to just take the good with the bad, and you just got to keep rolling with it and stay level-headed about the whole thing, because then last night I ended up getting a round win. So that's the whole deal. If you can just stay pretty level-headed throughout not only throughout the whole year, but here especially, you got to carry that same mindset here and just keep going with it, and that's how it usually works out in the long run.
Joe, you watch the bull riding a lot more than a lot of people would think. What's your observation of the 6 out of the 15 is the first time they've been here? What are you thinking about this year's bull riding?
Well, when I was rodeoing right there, when I cracked out was at the end of the year. There was you and Denny Flynn, and there was a lot of guys that I had a lot of respect for, and I watched, because it's about winning. It is tough and tie, and the thing I see about these young guys now is I see more of an ability to win in adverse situations. In other words, I don't see them looking out and bucking off and, it's okay. You see them bearing down and trying to win, and the only way to win, you've said it a million times, is hear the whistle. If you don't hear the whistle, you're not going to win, period. Regardless of how talented you are, how many times you've been to the finals, how many gold buckles you have. And what I like now about there's Trey and these two, and there's three more guys out there that I really think, if they keep it up what they've done this year for their first year, we got a whole new wave of bull riding talent coming in that's going to go back to a y'all's more style of riding by getting to the whistle. Were you flamboyant? Sure you were. If you had a good one, would you show off and let him have it and make the judges mark you? Sure y'all would. But I'm going to tell you what else I've seen y'all do. I've seen y'all have a dirty, nasty, no good, run down the chute, jump in and out of the left, right, and get to the whistle and win. That's what we've been short of, to me, in the bull riding world, and these young kids are coming with it.
They're coming with it, and yeah, go ahead. Beau, that bull threw you off tonight. You had him before. What's your thought about tonight? I mean, you try to have a short memory whenever it's bad, and think about it a little longer when it's good. But you got another one, so give us a recap of what your NFR week's been, starting with tonight's not so good, but for the first 4 rounds, how are you feeling about it?
Well, I got on that bull in Puyallup, and he threw me off to the outside, and he kind of kept getting me to the outside tonight, and when he got me to the outside, I really tried to make a move and get over there, and he just kind of flat backed me and left me there. Just bad luck.
Hung your hand in the rope a little bit, and I was watching it, and I'm thinking about those 3 times that you've broken your leg. Did he step on you whenever you were, the first 2 or 3 jumps you were kind of underneath?
Yeah, he got my leg a little bit, but it's no big deal. I mean, it'll be all right.
Well, both of these guys, Donnie's dads, were bull riders as well, and so I want to talk about. And do either of you have family that came to the show with you tonight?
He's got a whole raft of them here. I don't know who came.
I brought enough for everybody.
Get your dad. Introduce your folks that are here to the world famous national final tonight. Yeah, go ahead. Introduce your families.
That's my sister in the pink, my fiance Hope, my aunt Patricia, my cousin Lance and his girlfriend Amber, my mom Debbie, Kim and Billy, and right over there, and Punky's behind him. He's the one with the one arm.
You know what? That's all right, because sometimes it takes all of y'all to get him down the road, doesn't it? Huh?
Got a lot of support.
As pretty as his fiance is, kind of hard to get him out of the house all the time.
Give them a hand, will you? We're glad you're all here with us this evening. And Cody, who do you have with you tonight?
With me, I have, of course, they're all my friends. Beau's family are all friends of mine. I got my mom and dad, Robbie and Cammie, and my Uncle Tom and Aunt Jonna, a.k.a. Trey, Benton's mom and dad, so they're here as well.
They're on this side as well, yeah.
Third Stooge is in the back.
We got them everywhere. Y'all go ahead and give them a round of applause, because we're glad that they're here. We're glad their kids are here.
And just by them saying that, you guys, you don't have to ask them why they're successful. If you've got that kind of support for you. Your dad started both you guys riding bulls?
Yeah, I didn't really have a choice. I mean, it was something I was going to do regardless of the fact, and I'm glad he did it. Heck, I wouldn't be here without it,
Absolutely, I've just to have that support at a young age, and it's that from a young age and going, it takes a lot of having that support from your parents, because as you know, you're just getting around and doing all the traveling, youth rodeos, high school rodeo, it takes a lot. And just very thankful for that, and it's definitely got me here to where I am today.
We are so thankful. We had Trey on last night with us, Trey Benton III, and we've
Texas
talked about
boys.
Texas boys. We've talked about it all week, these young guys. I'd like you to pay them off and thank them for coming tonight. Cody Teel, Beau Shroeder right here. Gentlemen.
They're kind of tall for bull riders, too.
Did you hear Beau's parting shot? He said, well, Don, he's just short. Anyway, it was just...
I was going to say, do we need to get the milk crate? Hey, I got to tell you what, we were doing this commercial one time, and we get up there, and we got the cameras are all out, everything, and me and Donnie, we got our lines rehearsed, and we're standing up there, and we're good with this. This is fine, I hit him high, he hits him low. We're good like this. So this little guy, he's got all his headgear, and he comes up there, and he says, this ain't going to work. And he takes off. And I look at Donnie. I said, what are you talking about? He said, hell, I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. He comes back with a milk crate. And he sets it down. And he takes his time and he positions it for Donnie. And Donnie goes, don't need that, and just kicks it across the deal. This guy, he had his black tape down and marked it off and everything. And Donnie kicks that milk crate and he says, I don't need that. Get on with this.
He's just going to tell everything.
Is that not the truth? That's the true story. And I told that guy when he left, I said, it's okay, leave it alone, it's okay. But he had to do it, so.
Somehow, you know, I mean, when Mary was talking about using the fence to get down, I mean, I use the thing to get on, you know. And so I thought that was okay, but the milk crate, you didn't.
And that's with a Shetland pony. Let's get our next.
That's
but
your
he's a
friend.
nice one.
That's
He's
your
a nice
friend.
Familiarity breeds contempt. That's all I got to say.
He's a heck of a head horse. So let's get. We've got one more young man I want to get out here because we still have miles to go here, and this you're getting hot.
We're gonna be here a while. I'll just take it off.
Careful, the duck on the inside was showing. That's not. This young man is a part of a family that's a legend out here, and I don't know if he's heard you bragging on him early in the week, but Joe certainly has on this young man. He's part of the Cooper clan, and Clif Cooper, tie-down roper extraordinaire, is here tonight. Would you welcome Clif Cooper to the stage?
All right.
How are you?
All right. Glad to have you, Clif.
Good to be on the Tonight Show with Dan, Donnie, and Joe here.
Have a seat.
It's world famous. I don't know if you
World
heard.
famous,
Cliff, it's
yeah.
world famous.
World
yeah.
famous.
Now you're earning your
Now
money.
we're going. I don't know if you've heard this guy bragging on you this week, Cliff, but you haven't been here, but he has been singing your praises about earlier in the year, you calling him, and Joe, walk him through that when things changed, you thought this year.
I've always been a fan of Clif Strop, and he was 12, I don't know, 12, 11, 12, 13, when I used to stop by a lot and we'd rope, and, you know, it was fun, but he was a big kid with a lot of talent. He was tall and stuff, and I kept thinking, you know, they've never seen Clif Cooper the way he's going to be. And you're getting a glimpse of it, but I'm telling you, when it all comes together, this kid right here is as tough. Let me say, tougher than 13 guys that are out there. Okay, it'll be a toss-up between 3 guys for the next 10 years, and he's going to be one of them.
Pretty high praise from Joe Beaver for you. And I want to start out with this first thing, because when I was reading this morning, you were with us last year, but last year after you take off after the finals, what do you fly out of the Bahamas and do?
2 years ago. 2 years ago, yeah. After I made my first finals, me and my wife and my family, we flew to the Bahamas and we got married, and it was amazing. It
is amazing. Congratulations on that. It's good to have you back. Tell us, Cliff, about this NFR and your feelings going into this, and evaluate yourself so far.
You know, I've put in a lot of work and a lot of effort, and it's great to see it pay off. And, you know, the rodeo season, it's a long season with the ups and downs, and I'm just blessed to be able to do what I love and have the support system around me. I think the last 2 years help a lot. You know, they say you grow older and wiser, and it's paid a lot coming into this NFR. I feel better mentally, physically, and spiritually this year. I got to give a shout out. I was on the buckle presentation 2 nights ago, and I forgot to call out my cousin Sawyer. He played for Texas Tech football. He walked on, and about 2 months ago, I called him. I said, "Hey, man, why don't you come to the house and let's work out every day, and let's get right. Let's get ready for the finals." And we busted our butt getting ready, and thank you, bud. I didn't mean to leave you out the other day. I forgot.
Well, you can see the change if you watch the tapes from the last. Here's the impressive thing. Let's back up. Last year, you had no money won in June. None. 3,500, 4,000. Wasn't a whole hell of a lot, was it? Okay. I talked to him in June. He takes off. Now, June, July, and August, September, that's 4 months. It sounds like a lot. But, Donnie, you know as well as I do, the big money is in the wintertime.
January, February,
yes, sir.
March.
Well, you got no money won, and you take off in June. Lo and behold, the national finals, when they started last year, Clif Coopers are open. Well, this year, turn around, you hurt your ankle, and when? When did you hurt the first time?
Oh, about March.
March, yeah. So it takes 2 or 3 months for his ankle to heal, and he takes off rodeoing again with no money won. Okay, come down to the last rodeo of the season. Now I want you to picture this, okay? Put yourself in this situation. You've been to 70 rodeos, 72, 74. It doesn't matter if you got 10 left or you've been to all 75. You're at the last rodeo of the year, the last day of the year, and you've got to win first to make the national finals. It pays 8 monies. That's great, but 6 isn't going to do it. You've got to win first to make the national finals, and you tie one in 7-5 and you win first. You know what that means? That means you're a winner. That's what this kid did this year to get here. That's hard to do, people, to win first at the last rodeo. So that's why I told Dan the other night, he's just now coming into it. He's getting mentally tough. He's changed a few things that I like with his rope. His flanking is strong. He's bigger. He's tougher.
Let's take a look at him at work here. This is from round 2, Cliff, and you can look at it and you can talk about it as well. This is his winning round. Go ahead, guys.
I got out really good, and my horse, he's 6 years old, and he feels amazing to me. It's the first time in the bright lights. I wasn't planning on winning the round this night. I didn't really like my calf that much. I was just going to go make a good run and not beat myself, and it played in my favor.
No, that's right. But I told him he could win the round on him because you can flank him. I said, you're not going to bounce him. You're going to catch him coming off the ground, and you're going to flank him. The 2 things that make winners in this event, in this arena, are, I've said it every night, if you've been here every night, sorry, but you got to rope the neck fast, you got to rope it sharp, and you got to be strong flanking. Look, big open swing down in front of his horse. He gets him tight around the neck. Now, you don't want to jerk him down. It takes time. You see how that calf jumps? When he picks his front end up, he never hits the ground again until he's got a string on him. That's strength, and that's talent, and that's ability to win. I thought you'd win around, and then Tough come out and tied 1-7-4-5 or whatever he was, and I thought, well, you might win second. But when you came across right here, the first and second swing, when I saw that swing go by me and felt it brush by my head and standing by you, I knew it was all over if you got out and you flanked tied him for first. It's going to be a long week this week for those guys if you keep roping like you're roping right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
I got a question for you, and I think I know the answer to it. But you know, your dad, you know, I mean, Roy, basically, in my mind, from what I've seen, he revolutionized your event. He changed it. I mean, I watched Dean Oliver rope. I mean, I've been watching this for a long time. But Roy Cooper absolutely changed the way people rope, handle ropes, tying calves, especially tying calves. And did it ever bother you when you were trying to get good enough to get to the NFR? Does it bother you when people say, "Oh, this is Roy's son," or Tough's brother? Does that bother you at all?
The pressure growing up was ridiculous. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Every time I rode into a rodeo, or every time I rode in the box, from when I can remember until
yesterday,
until the second go round, yeah.
You know that this is 8-time world champion Roy Cooper's son right here, and I don't even know if they'd say my name. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know,
y'all think about this a little bit. You know,
funny,
you talk.
That's what they do to him. I guarantee you.
And that, you know,
I've never
pressure,
heard it.
the pressure's bad. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
it's bad.
But you just got to keep persevering. And Dad taught me to put in the hard work. He taught me, if you put in the hard work and the effort and the try, you know, just out there every day grinding, that it'll all pay off in the end. And you know, you have to build your own name up. I try to do everything like Dad did it, but I'm not going to rope exactly like him. Nobody ropes the same or flanks and ties the same, and so I've learned to cope with that and deal with it, because there's not anybody that's going to be the same. And so I've taken his what he did good, and I try to do it to the best that I can do it.
Boy, enough said right there. Outstanding, Cliff. I want you to know we're all pulling for you here, and I'm so thankful that you came on tonight. And I wanted you to hear Joe's praise of you here earlier this evening. So I appreciate you coming out tonight and being with us.
Joe, before the finals started, he told me to just go rope and do what I do, and he would do all the talking about me, and I wouldn't have to talk.
Tell us who your family is here tonight, Cliff.
Tell us who's here.
I have my beautiful wife, Taryn, here,
Y'all go ahead and stand up. Y'all all stand up. And it's hard to see in here.
My mother-in-law and my brother-in-law.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you
My
a little
cousin
secret.
and my best friend from high school are all here.
This guy here, you know, he doesn't have an entourage following him around, usually driving for him, taking care of stuff. 9 times out of 10, if you see him pull in a rodeo, he might be driving, or that pretty little girl right there might be driving. He takes his own rig, does his own deal, and that pretty sure that says Clif Cooper, nothing to do with Roy.
We're glad he came tonight. Pay off this young man.
Thank y'all for
Clif
coming out.
Cooper. Pretty good stuff, huh? Outstanding. We thank you for being here as family. Now, what I want to do, and I want to tell the guys backstage we want to do this, if you'll bring out some extra chairs, because we're so honored to have this next guy here with us, and the rest of our team has assembled back here as well. So this should be a good discussion out here. First of all, I want to bring up the gentleman right over here who is Karl. He is the commissioner of the PRCA. Karl Stressman is here in the house tonight. Would you give him a hand, please? Karl, come on up here and we'll get you a microphone. He's got a mic right there.
Got him mic'd up already.
And while Karl is coming up here, I want all these other two gentlemen to join us as well, and I'm looking forward to this. The two guys that give the color and the feel to the rodeo each and every night, and they've done it for a long time, and they're the best in the business. Bob Tallman is here and Boyd Polhamus are both here. Gentlemen, if you will come out as well, and we'll get some more chairs. Yes, give them a hand. Hello, Robert. Hello, Boyd. Welcome. Welcome. How are you? Boyd, we'll get another chair for you over here.
Y'all been my
There you
grandfather,
go.
haven't you?
He's got a bigger butt than I do.
Right there. Karl, we're so glad you came. What I want to say before we get into any discussion,
Before you say too much of anything, who invited him?
I did.
I just want to say that you, Karl, sitting over there, doesn't it make you feel good about the future of rodeo, these young men that we've had on this show tonight?
Unbelievable. Really, when it comes right down to it, it is unbelievable what kind of talent we have coming up through the ranks.
And good people, these young men, good young men.
And he picked the judges.
Boyd,
I couldn't wait till he got up here. He didn't really.
Don't get that off of him. Keep that stuck on him. That's all right.
What I want to say, Karl, last year you and I we were at we were down at the Hard Rock here, and we were doing a special for GAC. First year on GAC, and Karl got up there and I said, there's a reason this man is smiling, and the numbers did well. And talk about that relationship first, Karl, before these other guys jump in here with
You know, we just signed a new agreement. Actually, Friday I signed it. We've been working on it for quite a few months on the GAC deal. We're going to be 32 hours of programming on GAC next year. There's a press conference Tuesday at Thomas and Mack to really do the announcement of what GAC and their partnership is.
Y'all are hearing it first.
Yeah, you actually are hearing it first, so don't tell anybody, please. But the facts are that GAC has been a good partner for us. We just got the Scarborough reports for rodeo in the last couple of weeks, and they're unbelievable, really. We gained, there was 9.5 million of you that watched the NFR on GAC last year, 9.5 million. There was the count for rodeo fans in 2011 was 24 million. It went to 31 million in 2012. And the facts are that we had 4 million people that watched live. Attendance in rodeo last year went to 4.7 this year. Now I'm going to tell you, in an economy the way we see it and what we're seeing in the economy, to have that kind of growth in rodeo is that close to really exploding, and we are so very proud of the fact that we can help at any point in time as the leadership of this administration of the PRCA. We are absolutely on the verge of exploding.
As a consumer, can I tell you why I think that is? And I'm a consumer of rodeo. I love it. And my dad is 75 years old, and he'll watch every bit of rodeo programming you can find on television. And he will tell you without question that since we went to GAC, the content, what our fans and what our viewers want to see is there. The pre-rodeo show that you do with Justin McKee is awesome. Joe being able to tell us about the horses and the cattle and everything else and who's doing what and why. It's not just what we used to see on ESPN, for example, was cram as much as we can of the action into the 2 hours that we had to purchase from ESPN to put us on, and then not tell any of the background stories that have made National Finals Tonight successful. Because this whole show's successful because you get to sit down with Clif Cooper and really find out who is really Clif Cooper, or Corey Solomon and I to go, or Trey Benton. And I think that's what you're doing with your programming, and the fact that you can see that GAC is a true partner. They're not whittling away your time. They're trying to find more time to get you more exposure, which I think is why your numbers are growing.
Well, I think that I actually think that's absolutely true, and we blew the numbers out of GAC, as you guys well know. Last year, we tripled the ratings of any show they've ever had with the Wrangler National Finals Rodeo. So they understand the importance of rodeo, and they want to be the cornerstone of rodeo. I think over the years we have produced some mediocre television over the years. Donnie, you and I had this conversation just the other night at the gala, and we are done having that. If we are going to be supportive of a high definition piece that shows the real true value of rodeo, then maybe we don't deserve to be on radio. I don't believe that. Believe me, I don't believe that for a minute. But I'm going to tell you that that's the thought of this administration, is that we need to promote these kids like Clif Cooper sitting up here, and Tuff and Will Lowe and Bobby Moat and the team roping kids. If we're not doing the right job, then shame on us. We should be doing that job.
The dirty little secret is people fall in love with the players, not just the game. Okay, and I've always said that sports is soap operas for men in a lot of ways, because we followed, we'll follow Roger Staubach or Brett Favre or Tiger Woods and all their trials and tribulations and the different things that they face, but we care about what's going on in their lives because we've been made to know who they are as human beings. And that's what I think the programming on GAC has done in comparison to anything. You guys did great work on TNN with Mesquite, and telling us. I mean, Robbie Vaquero was I used to get on airplanes, and what do? I'm a rodeo announcer. Really? Have you ever met Robbie Vaquero? Have you ever been to Mesquite? And that was at a time when Ty Murray was shattering records left and right. So television is really important to getting our story out. But in the past, we just showed the competition without telling the story, and now we're getting the story told too.
One of the things that I like about the partnership of GAC and the PRCA is, and one of the reasons that they're there, I thought I saw Amos Tiger over there with the Seminole tribe. Without the Seminole tribe from Florida being the major presenter for pro rodeo on GAC, I think of a round of applause in order for our Seminole Indian friends and Extreme Bulls. We have a function that everybody's invited to at 1 o'clock over at the Hard Rock Cafe on Thursday, I believe. All the Extreme Bull riders will be over there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I know that you've been talking to them, and it's a great way. A lot of people. I tell Amos Tiger, he and I go way back, and I say, it's a lot of fun to be able to talk about playing Cowboys and Indians whenever you're around. This is fun.
There's a couple of PRCA board members over there. Fred Betcher's over there. Benji Bentley's over there.
They're the ones that pick the judges?
Yeah, those guys. Yeah, stand up, guys. You guys pick the judges. That's a good idea. I like
Hey,
that.
Fred.
Yeah.
Packers 27-20 over Detroit.
I hate that.
Yeah, there you go.
But in our Extreme Bulls, David Sharp and Sam Dunn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome, guys. That's a great opportunity. But GAC has really turned into a partner for us. We really didn't know where to go. I don't know if y'all realize this. Every sport, other than the major sports as you see in baseball, football, purchase time on everything. So when we were at ESPN, it cost the members of the association for us to actually be on ESPN, and they're very, very strict as to what they do. I mean, the opportunity to get on ESPN takes about that much of a contract to make it work, and they tell us we pay them for the TV time, and they tell us how to do it. Really? I thought when you paid for something, you had some opportunity. So GAC has been a great partner, and I think they will continue to be a great partner in the future because they care about the sport of rodeo. Everything else, and I'm not putting ESPN down, but ESPN said, give me a check, and we'll do this. GAC said, let me tell you what, can we partner on this initiative?
And you see it in the co-promotion. I mean, you could see from GAC that they're going to be telling you when the National Finals Rodeo was on. If you were, when we were on ESPN, and I'm not knocking on, and as Donnie just pointed out, no preemption. So if something else showed up,
driving me crazy.
Yeah, kick you till 2 o'clock in the morning, you know. But the co-promotion too. So someday at 10 o'clock in the afternoon or in the morning, they might be telling you that tonight the rodeo's on, where on ESPN you didn't get that partnership that you're referencing.
And also, what we heard more last year than anything else was the fact that the people said we saw the entire rodeo, not only from the beginning. We saw the grand entry, which unless you're here live, if you've ever been here live and then you turn it on television, the grand entry is huge, and you're like, wow, this starts the deal. So ESPN, as you all well know that have looked at it over the past, we started with the first bareback horse. They came back from a commercial, and the first bareback horse was on. And it was, here it is, here it is, here it is. But this thing has a feeling. Look, this whole rodeo industry is about a lifestyle. It is not about a rodeo. It's about a lifestyle. So the lifestyle that we live incorporates that, the grand entry. It incorporates, this year, it incorporates the prayer. It does it all. I want to tell you something. We heard you all. We heard you all when you said, can we do this? But the only thing that was disappointing to me as we watched this thing go through Facebook and all the things that I'm not very good at, but Allie, my beautiful wife, keeps me informed as to what's going on in that deal. The only thing that disappointed me was what happens on the social media when they put false information on it, and then everybody believes the fact that, well, hell, if it's on social media, it's got to be right? It has to be true. When in fact, we never have had prayer at the NFR before. We never had. We had one time.
It's going on my resume.
Yeah.
That I was the first guy to pray at the National Finals Rodeo.
So when we said and I'll tell you exactly how it happened. You may not know this. We have a contestant orientation meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday. Anyway, last week, Wednesday, and Cody DeMoss stood up in the middle of that. And he said, why can't we have prayer at the NFR? And Buck, Sean Davis, said, well, we've never had it there. And he said, I realize that, but why can't we have prayer at the NFR? And Buck said, well, we have a moment of silence, and everybody prays to their own God. And Cody said, I understand that too, but why can't we have prayer at the NFR? And I said, if you kids want to have prayer at the NFR, we should, in fact, accommodate you. And that was the end of the subject. It said we'll have prayer at the end.
But here's the ultimate irony. For those of you who weren't in that meeting, there was some very contentious things discussed that weren't scheduled to be discussed prior to it got kind of heated and contentious, didn't it? Okay.
Contentious.
Yeah.
That's how we got equal money.
So but it gets contentious, and there's some stuff going on that wasn't planned. It was kind of a shock deal. And so when it's all said and done, you're almost cringing for the next guy to stand up that's got something to say, right? Because it's been contentious and everybody's scrapping. And all of a sudden, it's kind of starting to die down. And I'll give the commissioner credit because he did tell them how the cow ate the cabbage about some of the stuff they wanted to do. But all of a sudden, here comes this bronc rider and he stands up. Anybody got anything else? And Cody stands up and he goes, yeah. Why can't we pray at the NFR? And that was exactly what the room needed, because the room was like this. And when all of a sudden he said, why can't we pray at the NFR? All of a sudden the room was together again. And it was perfect.
No doubt about it. But what is so difficult sometimes to realize is that we compare ourselves to a lot of other sports. But in fact, we're 7 sports in one under an umbrella that has a difference from yours to yours to
7 different sets of rules you got to learn.
The best part about our deal is we never stop. We never have to take our uniform off till it gets to stinking.
Well, interesting enough, we talked about that years ago in the deal about the fact that
don't say what I'm thinking.
You wouldn't wear your baseball uniform to school, but we do wear our uniforms every day. We live the lifestyle of what we say who we are every day.
Yeah, Joe Buck does not announce a rodeo or a football game in a football helmet. Yeah, but we live it exactly.
And I would like to publicly congratulate Mr. Stressman, because the position that he has in the PRCA If you think it's contentious on the Democrats and the Republicans on the Hill in our country, go to a Cowboy board meeting sometime.
I begged him not to take it.
And I think he's done a great job for what he's had to work with. I'm going to tell you what, round of applause is in order for Karl Stressman. You got to wear a lot of hats, and it ain't always white, is it?
He didn't step into a rosy situation.
No, that whole
That's
proxy battle was going on.
This guy stepped into a crappy situation.
I can remember when Karl was still at Wrangler, and I'm laying in the gooseneck on my horse trailer going, Karl, don't take it. You're not going to be able to affect the changes that you want to affect. Don't take it. You know, right now you're handing out money for Wrangler. Of course everybody's going to love you, but you're going to go up there, man.
All the friends money could buy.
Yeah, you really did. You did. And you still have to. He's rentable, okay?
By the hour.
He's like RSC. Okay. But and I did. And here's what he said to me. If not me, who? If not me, who? And then I wanted to tell him somebody else that ought to have the job, and then I was like, well, and if not me, who? And then we had some contentious times throughout his leadership, and I go, I told you not to take it. And he'd look at me and go, if not me, who? And I'm sorry, I still don't have that answer.
I'm glad it's Karl right now because I know it could be a heck of a lot worse.
That's Donnie's way of saying it.
Compliment.
Could be better, but it could be worse too.
Bob, this is the longest I've seen you sit patiently. Just sat there and listened. By golly, say something. We're out of time here this evening. Go ahead.
We're out of time. Go to the bucket ball.
No, go ahead.
That's.
Boy,
see you tomorrow.
That so well. No, I just.
That's not what you. Oh.
No, make your thoughts and then.
Well, I was the first guy to text him the other day in the contentious moment meeting, and we won't repeat, or I won't ask you to repeat what I texted you, but you agreed to me in the same language terms. There's every once in a while that somebody needs their butt kicked in front of those who need one with them, and when that happens, they seem to back up and get into common sense and logic, like, pow, quick. I knew this man before he started dyeing his hair gray.
Which, if the two of you would approach Just for Men, I'm pretty sure we could get their flag in the grand entry.
He's the only guy that's ever signed my name on an autograph in an airport, and it wasn't me. And our bodies have changed. He's getting grayer.
And he was completely offended by the request.
No doubt.
So, with all that's been said, this is my 40th year to have a card with the RCA and the PRCA. 40 years. My first, thank you. Pretty dang proud of it, too. My first paying job at the NFR was in 1972. It was $15 a day. And all the Marty Wood wine you could drink. Donnie knows about that. But
yes,
the thing is, we don't have growing spurts or moments. Our life runs in a spiral in the rodeo business. Okay, it might be at a high, might be at a medium, sometimes it's a low. Because anytime that you have the ability or take the shot at governing your own life in a sport, in an industry, in a business, and now with all the modern communications that I was banging on last night, and when you're running that bullet all the time, 365 days a year, then you say, okay, buddy, here's what it pays. You take the job, and you do it. What was one of the comments I made to you in the first year, second year, third year, told you again, told your wife, how many times? When you're done with this job, then you and I get to be friends again. Because, and I'm serious, because what he has to do was about as tough as I had to tell what Joe Bob said about dragging that calf tonight. But one thing I'll say about Karl Stressman, I do not agree with him all the time. But this sucker will tell you the truth, and then he will stand behind it. Now, we've got other people within our system that don't back him when he needs it, and they'll butt him when he doesn't need it. And nobody will ever say thank you enough for what you've done. But I'm going to throw Keith Martin onto your bus with you. Here's a guy that is taking a lot of heat. He didn't have to do this. And I remember the first time I went to the office, it was up there on Nevada Street next to the Broncos Stadium. And this was a long, long time ago in Denver, Colorado. Folks, you would I spent 8.5 years on this board of directors. And we had a president one time, God bless him, Dale Smith. And when it come down to the fist fight, and it did, we all retired for a minute and went back out in an alleyway. And he said, the kitchen's right down there. Y'all want to go get your knives or a hatchet or whatever you want? Because he said, we go back in there, we got to face Roy Duval and the rest of them. He said, the fight breaks out, he told Ellen Backstrom. He said, sweetheart, you can either step back or step in. She got her knife and we stepped in. And thank God that it quit. But that's how we've lived for about 80 years. So you can't say we're like anything else, because we're not. And I say, thank God we're not, because I hate the way everything else runs.
But just to build off your point about the constant spiral, I mean, we get done here. Odessa and Denver get started. Every other professional sport has an off season. Well, they have a chance to step back, take a look at maybe rule changes or different ways to present their product, and really kind of give it some time to think. We never have a chance to really soak on what we've been doing. We just got to keep doing it. And so that's a really difficult challenge to try to lead an association when you really don't have the time to kind of, once the Super Bowl's played, they won't start training camps till late July, early August. Baseball, we crowned the World Series champions. Now they got till spring training. And these people could step back and kind of take a big look at their pitcher, take an outside the forest for the trees look. We never get that shot because, as Bob just pointed out, we're going 9-0 every day.
Well, I've got to bring this to an end here, but I hope that you've enjoyed this discussion tonight. Karl, I'm so glad that you came on with us, and a great night to have you here, the young people that we've had here, and these guys, and where this sport is going, and the television and the media, and I know everybody's after you. So as a friend, I thank you for coming on here. And if you will pay off all these guys up here, I'm thankful for all of them. And I want to take the opportunity to say right now to the people that are watching on television and through YouTube and all that, good night to you. We'll see you tomorrow night. To the people that are here, let's give away some prizes. But to the folks out there across the country, good night to you. Everybody else, take care. Thank you.
What I do. Let's ride.
Thank you for watching and attending the show. We hope you enjoyed the presentation of National Finals tonight at the Gold Coast, where all the Cowboys go after the rodeo. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, same time, same place. This has been a presentation of Boyd Gaming. The fun isn't over yet. We invite you to head upstairs for Gary LeFew's legendary Buck and Ball. Live music from the Texas Jam Band featuring members of George Strait's Ace in the Hole Band and local favorite Scotty Alexander. Beer and drink specials, and best of all, no cover charge. We're gonna dance and party till the cows come home at the Buck and Ball.
Rodeo is what I do. If I hang on tight, I make a buck or two. It's what I do. It's what I do. It's what I do.